Your feet together, knees open out nice and wide. Right hand to the heart, left hand to the belly. Start to tune into your breath. Long, slow inhales, lifting both hands. Long, slow exhales, emptying out the space beneath the palms. Really feel your breath moving in and out of your body. Maybe as you breathe, you might start to notice that your chest or your belly rises more. Just try to even that breath out. Breathe into both spaces. Breathing more fully, more deeply. If at any point the stretch in the hips is too deep, you can lengthen your legs out along the mat. Otherwise, sticking with that hip opener. Keeping the focus on the breath. Maybe beginning to develop your ujjayi breathing, soft contraction in the back of the throat. To slow the breath even more. And taking one more deep, long breath in. Pausing for a moment at the top of your inhalation. And then exhaling, emptying out. And begin to set an intention for your practice. Maybe bringing to mind tomorrow, on July 4th, we celebrate freedom. So thinking of what brings you freedom, what that word inspires in you. Allowing that intention to inspire your practice, something to return back to. And take one more long inhale, feeling hands rise with the breath. Exhale it out, emptying. And gently open the arms out to a T. And really reach through the fingertips and stretch. And then relaxing the arms, take your left knee and stack it over your right, letting your left hip lift off the ground. Good. And then soften the left shoulder, taking your face to turn towards your left palm. You can keep your eyes closed. Allowing your knees to soften heavy into the ground. Shoulders relaxing down. Keep those long, slow breaths flowing. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, toning the core, start to move your knees over to the left. Right hip stacks over left. Open that right arm out, following it with your face, letting eyes stay closed. Heavy hips, heavy shoulders. Keep breathing deeply and feel your body softening here. Really relaxing across the chest. Softening through your hips, your knees. Another deep inhale. As you exhale, tone the core, roll to your back, hug knees to chest. And then allow your knees to open out and up. Flex the feet, soles of the feet towards the sky. Taking your hands to behind your knees, your ankles, or maybe the soles of your feet. For a nice, gentle, happy baby, lengthen your tailbone down towards the earth. And so the hands hold wherever you can keep that lengthening of the spine. So if that means you shift a little lower on the legs, do so. And then maybe rocking gently side to side. Maybe gently straightening one leg, and bending it again, lengthening the other leg, just moving back and forth as feels good to you. Maybe pointing and flexing the feet as you move. Any other little movements that feel good. Just tuning into your body. Get creative with the movement, whatever your body is asking for. And then slowly make your way back into that happy baby pose. Draw the knees into the chest and just hug them in once again. Rock a little side to side. Maybe drawing circles on the ceiling with your knees in both directions. And then release the left knee. Keep the right knee hugging into your chest. Lengthen the left leg slowly all the way down to the earth. Good. Keep pulling that right knee into the chest, but press down through the right hip so it's not lifting off the ground. Nice and lengthened through the right side body. Flex your left foot and start to draw gentle circles with your right knee. Just stirring that leg, getting some movement in the hip. And then changing directions, circles with the right knee. Slide your hands behind the right thigh. Keep that left leg flexed, both hips squaring down towards the earth. Flex your right foot. Gently start to lift that right heel up towards the sky. And then slowly roll through your right foot to point your toes towards the sky. And then flexing again, so lifting the heel, toes coming towards you. Take that again, point the toes, and then flex, and maybe drawing circles with the right toes, rolling out that heel, that ankle. Flexing once again, deep inhale. As you exhale, soften the knee, bend it in. Strong core, lift your left foot off the ground, lengthening that leg, just hovering the left foot. Tuck your chin to your chest. Feel your belly button drawing towards your spine. And then switch legs. Draw your left leg in, right leg extends. Hover that right leg. And switch again. Keep pulling belly button down towards the ground. Switching once again. And switch. Good. Let's take a few more at your own pace. Keep breathing deeply. Good. Next time you bring your left knee in, pausing here. Right foot hovers, squeeze in nice and tight. Feel the belly button traveling down. And then relax your right leg onto the earth. Head comes down. Good. Start to draw gentle circles with that left knee. Stirring movement. And then moving in the opposite direction. Hugging the knee into the chest once again. Flex your right foot. And then bringing hands to the left thigh. Start to lift through that left heel up towards the sky. Roll through the foot, pointing the toes. And then flexing, lifting the heel. Roll through to point the toes. And then flex. Starting to roll the toes in circles. In both directions. Good. Let's take one more, flexing the foot. Roll through to point. Flex once again. Soften the left knee, bring that knee back into the chest. Deep inhale. And as you exhale, strengthen the core. Lift that right foot up, tucking chin to chest, drawing belly button down. Let's take just a few more little movements, switching back and forth. Good. And then draw both knees in, squeezing nice and tight, chin to knees, nose to knees. And then release all the way out. Lengthen your legs, reach your arms up overhead, and just stretch from fingers to toes. As if you're just waking up, maybe even yawning. Bend your knees and then roll to one side. Using your arms to press yourself up to seated. Nice and slow. Good. Let's take the knees apart, soles of the feet together. We'll take one more stretch in this little formation that we began our class in. So open the knees, let them be heavy, lengthen your spine. And then hinging from the hips, just lean gently over the legs. Early on in class, it's okay if you're not going far. Give yourself a few breaths here. Maybe walking the hands further forward if it feels good. Long, slow breaths. And then allow your spine to soften. Let your head be heavy for another breath. As you exhale, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Holding onto your ankles, cross at the ankles. Rock forward to hands and knees and bring your knees underneath your hips. Good. Inhale to lift the chin and the tailbone. Drop your belly down. As you exhale, curve the spine, rounding chin to chest. Lift the belly button. Flowing through, inhale to lift. Exhale to curve. Heart lifts through the shoulder blades. Flowing one more time. Inhale to rise. Exhale to round. And then for a few more breaths, just start to move freely in your body between those two shapes. Any other movement that feels good. Some lateral movement in your spine. Maybe rocking through your hips, your shoulders. Good. One more breath, and then coming back to your neutral spine. Good. Let's take another peaceful pose here. Take your knees apart, big toes together, and then sink your hips back to your heels. Just relax your torso down. Arm variation of your choosing. You can keep the arms forward. Maybe sweep them back alongside your feet, or you could take your hands together above your head, inch your elbows forward and towards one another for a little bit more of a chest, bicep, shoulder opener. Breathing in whatever variation you choose. Long, slow breaths. Tuning back into your intention that you set for your practice. Tuning back into that deep, slow breathing. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, lengthen those arms back out in front of you along the mat. Rising up. Tuck your toes underneath your feet. Lift your hips up and back as you lengthen your legs. Downward facing dog. Taking any little movements that you need as you settle into your first downward dog of your practice. Pedaling out the feet, shifting your weight side to side. You can take your hips left and right if it feels good. And then let's all roll up onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees deeply and really lengthen the spine as you lift your hips up and back. Good. And then press the heels down, lengthen the legs once again. Good. Start to walk your feet towards your hands. Keep your knees soft and just come to a gentle forward fold. With soft knees, start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, tucking the tailbone, coming all the way up to stand. Good. Inhale to reach the arms up high overhead. As you exhale, hinge from the hips, strong core, come to your forward fold. Inhalation, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms on the earth, walk back to your plank. Nice. Good. Take your knees to the ground. Keep your core strong, straight spine. As you bend your elbows back, lowering down all the way onto your belly. Rolling the shoulders open, squeeze the elbows back, engaging the back muscles so the hands are light. Pressing back hands and knees to your downward facing dog. Deep breath here. As you let it out, think about lengthening your spine even more. Energy through the hands all the way up and out through your hips. One more breath. Deep inhale. On your exhale, moving feet towards hands. Inhalation to lengthen the spine. Exhale to soften. This time with a flat back, inhale to rise up, arms reach overhead. Exhaling, draw hands to heart center. Good. Take your feet together if they're not already there, and then sink your hips back, bend your knees. Scoop your tailbone under, strong core, arms alongside the ears. Nice. Sink your weight back into your heels as you dip your hips a little lower. Deep breath in, lift through your fingertips. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhaling, bend your knees, plant your palms, walk back to a plank. And either lower your knees or shifting forward, bend your elbows straight back, chaturanga. Inhaling up and out to a nice gentle up dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Lift your right foot just a teeny bit, just a little hover. Exhale, step that right foot through your hands, nice and slow. Good. Take your left knee to the ground and just untuck those toes. And then power up your legs, come all the way up. Tuck your tailbone underneath, so you can even take your hand to your low back. You want to take any bend in the low back out. so that you're really lengthening. And then square the hips, so your right hip might want to come forward. Try to draw it back. Good. And then with that super engaged pose, you can gently start to send the hips forward. They're not going to go as far. So if you end up way down here, you've likely got a big bend in your back. So tucking, lengthening, squaring the hips. Nice. Getting deep into that left hip. You can take your hands to your knee. Maybe take your hands to blocks. Maybe one of you got blocks though. Good. You can have them if you want. Nice. Lengthening. Good. Let's take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, take your hands to the ground. Shift your weight back, lengthen your right leg. Good. Lift the right toes. So here again, we're going to lengthen the spine. Roll your right hip back and down. So if it's lifting up, if your weight is much more in your left leg, try to square it down and back. Hinging from the hips rather than rounding through the spine. Good. Flexing that right foot so that the toes lift energetically, like you're drawing that right heel back in towards you. And breathing nice and slowly. Again, if you need blocks under your hands, you can bring them here. Take another long, slow breath. And shift your weight to your right foot, plant your palms, tuck your back toes, lift that knee, step back to a plank. Good, take an extra breath here, nice and strong. Shifting your weight forward, bend those elbows, chaturanga, opening out and up. Roll your shoulders back and down. Exhale to a downward facing dog. Left foot just gently hovers. Step it through your hands on an exhale, nice and slow. Drop that right knee down, untuck the toes. Power up your legs and lift off. Scooping the tailbone underneath. You can feel that length in the spine. Good. Notice if your left hip is coming forward, try to roll it back and down. Good. And then gently start to send your hips forward. Good. Again, if you're getting super low, you missed a step. Nice. Accessing that nice, deep right hip flexor stretch. Long, slow breaths. Get you through it. One more inhale. Exhale, takes hands to the earth. Shift your weight back to that right shin. Lift your left toes. So lengthen your spine from tailbone to the crown of your head. Round your left hip back and down. Lift through your left toes and then energetically drawing that left heel back in. So those are the ways we try to sneak away from that deep stretch all the way through the hamstring. But when you really roll that hip down and back, you're going to start to stretch even up into the insertion points, which is often where we get extra tight and we don't always stretch. Deeply breathing. Good. One more breath. Good. Shift it back forward. Okay. Plant your palms, tuck your back toes, lift that knee. Strong core to slide your left foot back to plank. Shifting forward, find your chaturanga. Inhale to a back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Good. Rolling your upper arms away from your ears. Lengthening your spine. Deep breath. Let's take the feet together at the back of the mat. Come up onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees deeply, but keep your spine lengthening, your hips reaching up and back. The bottom of your exhale, strong core, look in front of your hands and use the spring of your legs to hop your feet forward. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to soften. Soften the knees, bend at the hips as you inhale, chair pose. Good. Come a little deeper. One more breath in. Coming right back into that forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen your spine, strong core. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, walk back to a plank or hop back, soft elbows, chaturanga. Good. Flowing through vinyasa of your choice. Breathing it back to meet in a downward facing dog. This time, as you inhale, your right foot might hover a little higher. Up to you. Keep those hips square, heel lifts. Exhale, nice and slow. Bring that right foot through your hands. Again, this time keeping the back knee lifted. Power up the back leg, energy through the heel. As you inhale, lift through the crown of your head. Keep your hands where they are. Hips sink a little deeper. And then as you exhale, lengthen that right leg. Keep rolling your hip back. If you want a little more, you can lift the right toes. Good, squaring those hips. Take that again as you inhale, lift the crown of the head, hips dip towards the earth. Exhale, lengthen it back. Maybe you bow over that leg. Inhale, lift. And exhale to lengthen. Inhale to bend your leg, plant your palms, step back plank. Vinyasa of your choice. Inhale, lifting your left foot to hover, your choice how high. Exhale, nice and slow, foot comes through the hands. Power up your back leg, reach through that heel, square the hips. Hands stay where they are, lengthen the spine, lift through the crown of your head. Hips can dip towards the earth, and then as you exhale, lengthen your left leg. Roll that left hip back, maybe the toes lift if you like. Flow as you inhale. Moving back as you exhale. Nice and slow, inhale, lift. Exhale back. Coming back to that lunge, inhale, plant your palms, step it back to a plank, your choice of vinyasa. Good, meeting in that downward dog or child's pose. 3 breaths. Lengthening the spine. Good. And then on your next exhalation, step or hop your feet forward. Your inhale lengthens your spine. Your exhale softens forward. Bend the knees, sink your hips. Inhale to your Utkatasana chair pose. Shoulder blades glide down the back. Weight in the heels. Knees squeeze together. Inner thighs engaged. Let's take the hands to the heart. Engaging your core, start to open your chest to the right. Hook your left elbow outside your right knee. And then just gently twisting open. Look down at your knees. Notice if your left knee is trying to poke forward. Try to draw the hips back so that the knees line up. If it feels good, maybe float your arms open. Up to you. Inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, start to open your chest towards the windowed wall. Once you've got that twist, hook your right elbow outside your left knee. Lengthening from tailbone to the crown of your head. Drawing the hips square so that the knees line up. Maybe you float the arms open if it feels good. And exhale back to center. Let's inhale, lengthen the arms up overhead, lengthen the legs, lift through your fingertips, lift up through the heart, maybe a gentle back bend, coming all the way through to a forward fold. Inhale to lengthen the spine, strong core. Exhale, bend the knees, plant your palms. Step or hop back. Vinyasa of your choosing, or just moving straight to that downward dog, moving intelligently for you, whatever your body needs. Good. Your inhale lifts your right leg. Your exhale steps the right foot through. Inhale, lengthening through the crown of your head, sink your hips. Exhaling, lengthen your right leg, lift the toes. Coming back down into that lunge, take your weight into your right foot, lift your left foot towards the sky. Try to keep your hips square, engaged core. Bend your left knee, bend your right knee, tuck your left knee behind your right. Come down to your left shin, hips come to the left, turning your torso towards the right. Right hand comes behind, left arm hooks around that right knee. Press through your right fingertips, sit up a little higher. Both sits bones should be making contact with the earth. Nice. Lengthening your spine as you twist. Good, nice and gentle. Take another breath, deep and slow. Good. And then release. Take your hands around that right foot, framing your right foot. Put weight into the right foot, and then turn all the way open to a wide-legged forward fold. Nice. Toes slightly in, heels slightly open. Just let your torso relax towards the ground. Head is heavy. Any arm variation that you might like, maybe taking arms behind the back, interlacing the fingers, pressing palms together, lifting the knuckles up overhead, and then allowing them to sink towards the earth. Let your head be really heavy. Imagine each exhale is releasing any tension from your shoulders, from your neck. You can even gently look left and right. Good. Release your arms back down towards the earth. And let's slightly bend the right knee. Just take your weight over into that right leg. And then walk yourself over to the left. Good. Nice and slow with your breath, just moving left and right, as high up or as deep down as feels good in your hips. Make it your mission to breathe and move as slowly as you possibly can. And maybe you even want to lift the arms up, float them out to either side. Good, a little skandasana. Good. And let's pause in the center. Coming back to that wide-legged forward fold, shake it out, and then turn your right toes out, frame that foot, step back plank. Good. Vinyasa of your choice. To meet in a downward facing dog. Good. Deep breath in. Lift your left leg. Square hips as you lift that heel. And your exhale steps your left foot through your hands. Good. Inhale, lengthening the spine, softening the hips towards the earth. And then as you exhale, lengthen the left leg, roll that left hip back. Sinking back into that left foot. Shift your weight forward, power up your left leg, lift off with the right foot. Square your hips, lift your low belly, super strong here. Both knees bend, your right knee is coming right behind your left knee. Come down to your right shin, hips sit a little bit to the right. Keep twisting to the left fingertips behind you, right arm loops around your left knee. Good. Use those left fingertips to lengthen your spine first. Good. That's your first goal. And then once you have that length in your spine, feel the twist starting in your belly, moving all the way up through your ribs, your shoulders, your head. Good. Take another deep breath. And come back to face the front of your mat. Plant your hands, framing that left foot. Take weight into the left foot as you open up into a wide-legged forward fold. Toes slightly in, heels slightly out. Good. So this time you might hang out here, might take a different arm variation of your choosing. Maybe you loved the feeling of shifting left and right into those hips. Or if you want to work towards your tripod headstand, if you're feeling ready for an inversion in your practice, you can take that now. Really make sure that you have the support of your arms. So you don't want your hands close to your head. You really want to make a triangle. Nice. And then as you start to shift your weight into your head, pressing through your hands. Good. Try to take your heels back so that they're in line with your spine. Strong core, strong arms. Stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. Come down whenever you're ready. Try to come out the way you came in. So lovely. Good. Give yourself a second. Good. Now walk your hands over to that left foot. Turn your left toes towards the front of your mat, and then heel toe your left foot a little wider so your hands are inside. And then shift your weight into that left foot. Step your right foot forward. Sink your hips down. Lift your torso. Hands can come together at the heart, or if you have super tight hips, you might have your hands in front of you on the earth. Malasana. Good. You can shift your weight a little left and right. You can adjust how far your toes are pointed in or out for whatever feels good in your hips. It's different for different people, so just see what feels good. Really lengthening your spine so your tailbone is sinking towards the earth as you lengthen the crown of your head up towards the sky. Good. Breathing here. And then your choice how you want to take this transition. You can either take hands to the ground, walk back to a plank, or if you'd like to take a little crow, placing hands to the ground, tucking knees into your inner upper arm, shifting your weight forward, rounding your spine, engaging your core, and then looking forward, shift even a little bit more, and then shoot your feet back, land in a chaturanga. Nice. Or hover in a little handstand first. Nice. Flowing through your vinyasa. Good. Pausing in that downward facing dog. Give yourself a little movement here. Anything that feels good, or if what feels good is a child's pose, you can always come down into that. Nice. Step or hop your feet to your hands. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, soften. Soften your knees, soften your hips. Inhale to your chair. Exhale, hands to the heart, coming right into that twist. Left elbow outside right knee. Open those arms up if it feels good. If you want to come even deeper and come into a crow, side crow, taking those hands down outside your right leg and then shifting your thigh bone onto that area up above your elbows. You can play around with leg positions. You might send them straight out to the side, really engaging your core, or splitting the legs back into the side. Nice little moment of play. Take it however it comes to you today. Nice. If it's feeling like more of a struggle than you want, come on down. Nice. Let's come back in as we entered. So into that chair pose. Inhale to center. Exhale, right elbow outside the left knee. Open it up first. Really come into that twist. And then sinking a little deeper, just take the hands over to the left. Shifting your thigh bone up above your elbows. Look forward. Engage your core. And maybe you just teeter-totter your feet off the earth. Nice. It's all about that balance point. Leaning it forward. Nice. Maybe playing around with the leg positioning as feels good to you. Exhale to side. Palms on the ground. Walk or hop back. And listen to your body. If you're getting tired, move a little slower. Nice. Flow through a vinyasa if you like. Good. On your inhale, lift your right leg. This time, let's bend the knee, open the hip, stacking right hip over left. Good. Try to keep your shoulders square, so you're really lengthening the side body, opening up that hip. Good. And then here, maybe you even keep that body position, but lengthen your leg. See how it feels. Good. And then squaring your hips, drawing your right knee in. Step your foot through your hands. Inhale as you lengthen your spine. Exhale as you lengthen your right leg. Shift your weight into that right foot. Lift off with your left. Standing splits. Take a breath here. Good. And then maybe this time, if you like, really square the hips, lift through your low belly. Start to make your hands come a little closer to that right ankle. Maybe so much so that you balance just on that foot. Good. And then softening your right knee, plant your palms, step your left foot way back. Take your heel to the ground. Inhale, rise up. First warrior one of your practice. Square your hips, lift through your fingertips. Lift through the core, drawing ribs together, breathing in. And out, sink a little deeper. Keep softening the shoulders. Good. Another deep inhale, lift through fingertips. As you exhale, spiral open, warrior two. Good. Feel that front hip gently lifting. So that hip point lifts up as you sink through the thigh. Good. Power up your back leg. Press through the pinky toe edge of your back foot. Let's inhale up and back. Exalted warrior. And then exhale to your side angle pose, left arm reaching alongside your ear. And really rotating the torso open. So think about those twists that we've been doing throughout the practice. Twisting open towards the sky, starting with the belly, moving up into the ribs, the shoulders. Good. Your shoulders are feeling open and you want to start to work towards a bind here, looping that left hand back around, maybe tucking your right underneath. Keep that rotating opening happening. And then release the bind, open back up into a nice long pose, and then pressing through your right foot, start to lengthen that leg. If you need to move your hand a little higher, maybe adjust your stance for your Trikonasana, feel free to do so. Just opening up, deep breaths, long spine, length from your heel to your hip. Extension from fingertip to fingertip. Good. Let's soften our right knee. Reach your right fingertips out and forward, and then shift your weight into your right foot. Lift off with the left as you come into your Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon pose. Energy out through that back heel. Try to stack your left hip on top of your right as much as you can. Good. Nice. Maybe you power up that core so much that the right hand gently lifts off the earth. Maybe it comes in to touch the heart center. Took that balance pose, take the right hand back down, squaring your hips, left hand comes to the earth, keep that left foot lifted, and then either just step your left foot back, walk into a plank, or if you want to play around with a little kick here, use your left leg to create some momentum to lift off with your right. You can either hop right back, or maybe taking a little hover in the air as long as you like. Good. And then moving through Vinyasa or pausing in a downward dog. Movement of your choice. Nice. Good. Let's take a little different movement in between. So come back to your plank. Chaturanga all the way down to the floor. And then from here, just slide your hands forward so that your elbows come right underneath your shoulders. And then roll your shoulders open, broaden your collarbones, lift through the crown of your head, and just gently breathe. Good. Activating the arms as if you're drawing your chest through. Little Sphinx pose, little pose in between, a pause. Exhale, relaxing down. You can just take your elbows out to either side. Windshield wiper your legs, a little release in the low back. And then lengthen the legs once again. Draw your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes underneath your feet. Press through your heels, power up your legs, squeeze your elbows in. You can either keep your knees on the ground or try to press to Chaturanga, all the way to plank, to your downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, left leg lifts. Bending that knee, let the hip open up. Try to keep your shoulders square. Breathing deeply. Nice. Exhale to square your hips. Oh, wait, come back. And then lengthen your leg if you like. Nice. Almost forgot a step. And then squaring your hips, squeeze your left knee to your chest, step your left foot through your hands. And keep that back leg powered up. As you inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head, sink your hips. As you exhale, lengthen your left leg, lift your toes, square your hips. Shift your weight into your left foot, bend that knee. Weight comes into the left as the right lifts off. Squaring your hips, lift through your low belly. Maybe the hands make their way towards your ankle. You can loop your forearms behind that left leg if you like. Whenever you're ready, step your right foot way back. Take that heel to the ground. Rise up, warrior one. Square your right hip, tucking your tailbone, lengthening your torso. Feeling your shoulder blades soften down the back, creating space between the ears and the shoulders. Take a deep inhale, and then spiral it open, warrior two. Inhale, up and back, exalted warrior. And on your exhale, take your left elbow or left fingertips down. Right arm alongside the right ear. Thinking about that twist, rotating open from the belly, through the ribs, to the shoulders, opening up towards the sky. Breathing deeply. If you'd like to work towards a bind, turning that right thumb away, tucking the right arm back towards your left hip, and then looping the left arm underneath. Make sure your hips don't start to square towards the ground. Keep opening them up. Keep rolling your torso open as well. Good. Another breath in your bind. You're there. And then release. Reach the arms wide. Start to press through the ball of your left foot to lengthen that leg. Again, if you need to shift your stance, shift the placement of your hand, do so as you find your Trikonasana. Lengthening through each part of the body. Long arms, long spine, long legs. And then softening the left knee, reach your left fingertips out and away, shifting your weight, powering up both legs, powering up your right arm. Stack your right hip over your left as much as you can. Good. So the more you reach through your limbs, the more you activate your core. And maybe that makes it possible to gently lift those left fingertips up off the ground. Maybe they touch into the heart. squaring your hips. Take your right hand down as well. Again, you have a choice here. Either walk it back to a plank or use the momentum of that right leg to lighten the weight of the left so that it can either hop back or maybe you hover for a moment. Good. Nice. Coming down however you choose, vinyasa or straight back to a downward facing dog. So either walk or hop your feet wider than your hands. Good. Coming back to that malasana, lengthen the spine. So we have one more little option here for an active pose. Totally your choice. If you've had enough, you don't want to do an arm balance, feel free to come into a different, more peaceful, passive pose. If you want to work on a little bit of an arm balance, take your hands to the ground, and then lengthen your legs, turn your toes in, and then soften those knees once again. Start to walk your hands back behind your heels. Good. Nice. Turn your fingers so that they're pointed towards your heels. Good. Bend your elbows and then sink your hips down so that the tops of your legs are coming to rest above your elbows on that whole bicep. Good. And then start to walk your toes just a little bit forward so that your weight is starting to come more onto the arms. You can start by crossing the ankles. That's going to lock you into the pose a little bit more. Nice. If you want to come deeper, start to straighten the legs. So it has to happen at the same time as both the push of the legs and the lift of the upper back. So the lift that happens in the core, it all comes from that inner strength, those core abdominal lifts. Very nice. Oh, so beautiful. Good job, Laura. That was really awesome. So those two movements have to happen at the same time or else we slip off. So if you just straighten the legs without engaging the core, you're just going to slide right down your legs. And same thing if you just lift with the belly, but you don't activate the legs, you're just going to kind of be a little hunch. So pressing through both. That could be a fun little exit. Nice. That looks awesome. Good job. That looks so good. Woohoo! Yeah, I can really see the difference in that. That looks really good. Thank you. All right. We're done with the active poses. You guys are in the right spot. Let's even start right here. Hands to feet. Lengthen your spine. And then just start to soften forward. You can walk your hands forward if you like. Noting that you might be a little more deep than you were at the beginning of your practice. Breathing deeply, slowing down. And on your next inhale, roll up. And then taking your hands behind the thighs, lengthen your legs. It doesn't have to be your widest, wide-legged forward fold ever. It can be a little more narrow. Just take your right hand to your right leg, lift your left fingertips high, and then start to bend that right elbow or slide the hand away. As you gently curve over that right leg, you can take the forearm to the earth if that's available to you. If that feels like too much weight, you can tuck your left arm behind your back for a little bit less intense of a stretch. Breathing here. Inhale back to center. Left arm to the left leg, right fingertips lift, creating space first and then starting to move into it. Coming down to wherever feels good for you. Long, slow breaths. Let your inhale rise you back to center. Taking hands behind the knees, draw the legs together. Good. And take the soles of the feet to the ground, reaching forward. Start to roll slowly onto your back. And bring those heels in even closer to your hips. Stepping into the feet, tuck your tailbone. And then slowly peeling one vertebrae at a time off the earth. You can interlace your fingers beneath you, press through the knuckles, and walk your shoulder blades underneath your heart. Softening your front body. Breathing deeply, slowly. And then releasing the hands. Walk your shoulder blades out. Take the vertebrae back down to the earth the same way you came up, one at a time, nice and slow. Take your feet a little wider apart and just windshield wiper the knees, the legs back and forth. Good, and then bringing the feet a little closer together. Hug the knees into the chest. And just rock gently side to side. And if you'd like to come into a deeper back bend, you can do so now. If you want to take a wheel, if you're feeling open enough in your spine and your shoulders. Just taking hands alongside ears. Really think about keeping your elbows towards one another. As you press up, good. You can hold for 3 to 5 breaths. Moving the chest through the shoulders. Good. Holding as long as you like. And then taking that gentle windshield wiper once again. Release in the back and the hips. And then open the knees up towards your upper arm. Flex your feet, lift the soles of your feet towards the sky, coming back to that happy baby. Gentle shifts left and right, maybe lengthening one leg and then the other. Maybe lengthening both legs if it feels good to you. Good. And then bend the knees. Take the knees over to the right. Open your arms up wide, following your left hand with your gaze. This time, if you want to come a little bit deeper, maybe taking hands across the knees. Maybe straightening your left leg and catching those toes with your right hand. Taking any other variation that you might like. Your supine twist. And wherever you are, feel your hips sinking, shoulders softening. Allowing each exhale to relax you into the earth a little bit more. And maybe letting your eyes drift closed. Tuning into your breath. And on your next exhale, tone the core and slowly bring your knees up and over to the left. Arms open wide, gaze follows your right hand. And taking hands over knees or lengthening the right leg and catching toes with your left hand, if you like. Imagining that the twist is wringing out any tension from the body. Slowing the breath. Softening the core. And on an exhale, slowly move onto your back. Take your knees apart, soles of the feet together. Right hand to the chest, left hand to the belly. For just 3 deep, long breaths. Closing our practice as we began. Feeling the breath flowing into your body and back out again. Maybe holding a gentle pause at the top of your inhale. And exhaling out. As you complete your 3rd round of breath, slowly make your way into your Savasana, lengthening your legs, arms opening out alongside the body. Letting your breath begin to soften. And feeling your body melt into the earth. Feeling your practice, creating space in your body, space in your mind. And just allowing yourself to exist in that space that you've created. Beginning to deepen your breath. Finding gentle movement in your fingers and toes. reaching your arms up overhead as you're ready. Stretch from fingers to toes. And then bend your knees and roll to one side. Using your arms to press yourself to seated. Eyes closed, hands at heart center. We'll close our practice with the sound of one Om. If you'd like to join me, we'll deeply inhale. Namaste. Yeah.
What do you think for our massage?
It's a little bit of this lavender essential oil. It's just